The Soviet Union is in the middle of a revolution, but the revolution we're talking about today is not the one you're thinking about. We're talking about a scorching, red-hot sexual revolution. Today, we're going to take a look behind the Iron Curtain and into the Russian bedroom for a no-holds-barred look at dating, mating, marriage, and divorce, Soviet style. We'll find out how Russian women are revolting against sexist Soviet men and find answers in the arms, these ladies do, of American men. Meet Nina, who'll tell you why she left her Russian husband, her kids, and her country to tie the knot with American Jim. Their recent marriage is the first from a new Russian-American matchmaking service. Meet this Soviet lesbian who will give us a revealing look at gay glasnost that has many seeing red in Russia. She'll share the shocking tactic, she claims, of the KGB, who want to halt homosexuals in their fight for sexual freedom. We'll learn how this American activist is helping to smuggle condoms into the USSR and help wage war on the real international enemy, AIDS. We'll meet the mastermind behind the controversial Playboy shoot that showed a side of Soviet women never exposed before in the West. We'll meet one of the Russian models who will give the bare facts of bearing it all. Her name is Svetlana. Hi, Svetlana. Her parents, incidentally, and her friends are outraged that she took it all off for Playboy. And right now, let's welcome one former comrade turned comic. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Yakov Smirnoff. My friend Yakov is here to take an entertaining look at passion and parenting in his native country. Yakov will also recount his first trip home in 12 years. Yeah, I'm curious, Yakov, do you remember any of your sexual experiences as a boy in the Soviet Union?
Well, no, not as a boy. I remember when my parents and I grew up in a communal apartment with 5 other families. And my parents and I shared the bedroom till I was 26 years old. This is true. And when my parents would want to make love and I was a little kid, they would send me to look out the window. And then my dad would say, "So what do you see in the window?" I said, "Our neighbors making love." He said, "How can you tell?" I said, "Because their son is looking at me." And I was the only child because we had only one window, so.
How was it when you first got to the United States then?
Well, when I came here, I didn't really know much about America, and I arrived to Kennedy Airport, and certain things were very confusing. The word "yep" in English means yes, and in Russian means sex, as some people here can tell you. And I'm walking through the airport with my parents, and my parents are hearing people saying, "Yep, yep, yep." And they're saying, "What the hell is going on here?" And I'm saying, "What a country!" Oh.
Yakov Smirnoff, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are opening the curtain into the explosive world of revolution and romance in Russia. The red bed, love and sex in the Soviet Union. That's the focus of this edition of Geraldo. There is fierce fighting going on in the Soviet Union, but the battlefield that we're talking about this time is in the bedroom. Just how has Perestroika romanced many Russians and sparked Soviets like never before? Let's take a look at this new openness behind closed doors. The Berlin Wall came down while the Golden Arches went up, and the Soviet people spoke out like never before. The newest and most controversial example of free expression are the sex movies that are sweeping through Russian theaters. Little Vera caused the stir, and also won this young Soviet sex queen a chance to pose for Playboy.
Oh, Lord, this is an awful time to be alive.
No.
It is. It is.
No, no.
But love and sex on the big screen doesn't always depict real life. In Russia, relationships are not as easy as in the American film classic Dr. Zhivago. In Russia, doubling and tripling up families in two-room apartments is a way of life. The stress placed on couples who seek privacy and can't find it leads them to alcoholism and terrible domestic feuds. Presently, there's a 50% divorce rate in the Soviet Union. And when couples finally do find intimate moments, they can't find contraceptives on the Soviet shelves. Abortion has become the most frequently used method for birth control. Some women reportedly have had as many as 20 abortions. Over the last few years, rock and roll has been making strides into the Soviet Union. Teens are tuning in while artists are turning out the goods. Although rock is a hit with the young people of the Soviet Union, artists must still beware of their critics.
They even compare rock to AIDS, and they say that what AIDS is doing to your body, rock is doing to your soul.
Being gay is difficult in a society that believes homosexuality is a disease. Only recently have gay men been coming out. In the early 80s, being openly gay had devastating effects.
Well, I was actively gay. I was not a criminal. I did not rape, and I was not involved with minors. But I was sentenced with Article 121 of the Penal Code, Section 1, and imprisoned for 3.5 years in labor camp. We don't consider ourselves outsiders anymore. We're just normal people. We're not schizophrenic, we're not sick people. I have higher education. I graduated music college with all A's.
And it's just as difficult to be a lesbian.
It's all done on the sly. We lead a double life. There is no other way. I don't want to advertise it. It's too much. Every day is a matter of survival for me. It's rare for the day to pass when I do not consider suicide.
Glasnost has created some changes in Russian lifestyles. It's opened the door for more creativity and allowed Western beliefs, art, and music slowly to penetrate Soviet lifestyles.
I've discovered that there's a feeling here that's very similar to the early 60s. The song that keeps going around and around in my head is the Bob Dylan song, The Times They Are Changing.
And they certainly are in the Soviet Union in so many ways. And one is, there is no doubt, there is a sexual revolution. What happened here in the 1960s is happening over in the Soviet Union in spades. Do you agree, Yakov?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I went back to film a Showtime special, and I was surprised how open a lot of things were. People were not aware of sexuality as much. In the Soviet Union, we would get a Sears catalog when I grew up, and that had an underwear section, and that was like a real sexy magazine. We would really pass it around, and you could imagine.
Hey, have you seen the Sears catalog? Yeah, I can see it.
Well, I've seen Sears catalog. Yeah, I mean those you know, things that were interesting for me at that time, because National Geographic would have been like major pornographic magazine probably at that time. So it's all relative to something. And coming to America, when I realized that things are much more open here, I didn't know about that there.
Could you take a look at Svetlana down at the other
Yes.
side, the model who posed in Playboy? Do you remember many Russian women that looked like her?
Well, the image of Russian women that that Americans picture a while ago was big, burly, hairy women, okay?
Let's be frank here.
Well,
be careful, you're sitting next to Nina there.
But you see, I think that was just created by American media, because when Raisa Gorbachev came along, you saw beautiful, petite, very attractive ladies. They were always there. They were just standing behind those big and burly women. You couldn't see them. That's what happened.
Could you conceive in your wildest dreams of a Playboy featuring Soviet models? I mean, models like Svetlana?
No, that was, for me, as earth-shattering as the Berlin Wall coming down. I did not expect them to allow that to happen, but I felt that the glasnost was really working. I mean, people should be able to have freedom and choose what they want to have.
Speaking about choices, why did you choose an American woman to marry?
Well, I met an American girl and I fell in love with her. I met her in Oregon, and it's as American as it gets. And I'll tell you, when I proposed to her, and then I went to meet her parents, Russian son-in-law was not #1 on their wish list. Maybe after Charles Manson somewhere, you know. But I have a picture of her and our baby, and she's an attractive lady. This is the baby.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, she has her eyes
Is the baby
closed.
laughing at your joke or crying? I don't know.
Well, we tried to get her eyes open. She wouldn't do it, so we closed ours, you know. She's already running our life, you know.
Remind me of your wife's first name.
Linda.
Linda, and your child?
Natasha.
Natasha.
And
oh,
we tried to figure out the name, you know, and her parents wanted a real American name, and I said, Timofey Smirnoff doesn't sound it.
I want to read you a Valentine's note that you sent to Linda on the occasion of your first anniversary. Quoting, yeah, she gave it to us. We grew up in the... here it is. No, it's so sweet. You have to listen. I mean, I'll leave it in complete with the errors in English, but we grew up in the enemy countries. We were raised in different ways. It's been wonderful living together the last 365 days. We've gone through a lot together, and sometimes life would feel like a maze. The contractors, attorneys, assistants in just 365 days. Little things could present major challenges, like the piglet that I wanted to raise, the piglet, and my hope that we'll still be together for the next 365 days. But no matter what life has to offer, would be faster or slower pace, I would like to live, or I would like you to be my sweetheart for at least 50 Valentine's days. Isn't that sweet? What a country. Nina, did you ever hear of Yakov when you were back home in the Soviet Union?
No, we have just got acquainted.
He's not a big star in Russia? Not yet, anyway. You know, my talk show just started in Russia, so you left maybe a little bit too soon. You could have... Now, Jim, you met under such unusual circumstances, introduced as you were by Ron Rolban, who sits alongside you, and he has that interesting agency bringing Russians and Americans together in a romantic way. You are just married. How do you feel?
Great.
Smile then. We've got to take a commercial break. When we come back, their incredibly interesting story, how they found each other from 7,000 miles away. Love and sex in the Soviet Union continues. Stay with us.